welcome to another week of cooking. My name is Susie and welcome back to my channel. On this channel I make vegetarian cooking videos and just fun cook with me content. So if you're into that, please stick around and subscribe. I'm feeling pretty good right now because my video with my mama just went up and everybody's liking it so far. So if you haven't seen that, please check it out. I'll link it up in the cards right now and it'll also be linked in my description box. We make Portuguese sweetbread together and it is seriously so funny. But tonight is Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And Thanksgiving is just a couple days away. So we decided that we really need to get anything out of the fridge that we can and eat it up. So I would like to make a refrigerator soup tonight. That's what I like to call this. It's a great way to use up any bits and pieces and save some money in doing so. So I just found a lot of things that really are on their last leg. This is all the produce that I found that really needs to be used up. Also my earbud. And I will also be using some tomato paste and garbanzo beans because that's just like my secret weapon. These leeks were pretty yucky. They really need to be washed. And then we've got a lot of fresh herbs, a lot of carrots, celery, zucchini, some potatoes, this thing. So we'll see what I end up using, but basically a lot of this, not all of it, but some of this would be going bad rather quickly. So if I can use it, that's a total win, and I'm sure it's gonna end up delicious in the end. So double win. Okay, here's my secret to making soup taste really good and not using a recipe. Making anything without a recipe usually terrifies me. It has in the past at least, but I'm getting better about stepping out on my own, and soup is one thing that I am really comfortable making without a recipe now. So I always start with garlic and onion. I will cook those in some olive oil and salt, and then I will add in some celery and carrot and cook those down until they're all really nice and tender. After that, I will add in tomato paste if I'm making a tomato-based soup. So the tomato paste you really need to cook because otherwise it kind of has a more metallic flavor and it won't be as deep and rich. So you cook that, and then from that point on I can add in any other vegetables that I need to use up from my fridge, and also some broth, some cream if you'd like to use it. You should really use the cream pretty close to the end of the soup, and also any canned beans, or often I like to throw in some uncooked lentils, rinsed and drained. And potatoes are a really great thing to add into a soup to add a little bit more heartiness to the soup and make it into a full meal.
I gotta show the world how cute my puppy is. Ma! Ma, 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 ma. You're too sweet. You took such a long nap. I almost had to wake you up. Seriously.
Mommy was making soup downstairs. Did you know that? You will like it. And some biscuits. Oh. Yeah. I worked on my soup, and then I also decided to throw together some biscuits, which was my mom's idea. I was just gonna use a biscuit mix, but it sounded kind of fun to make some drop biscuits. So I made it was like a 5-minute, it was so fast. So they're just on the tray now, and they're waiting to be thrown in the oven. The oven is preheating. The soup is simmering away, and I just gotta throw some garbanzo beans in there, check it for salt, see if it needs anything else, splash of cream. Okay, this was actually a pretty funny one. So this night, I was going to try to use up some ingredients from the fridge again. And also, I had heard my mom say that she really wanted me to make falafel, but she thought we only had 1 can of chickpeas, and it usually takes 2. But then I found 2 cans of chickpeas, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to surprise her and make falafel. And then I got through with pouring the chickpeas in and chopping the onions for it, and I found out that she had already used the parsley that we needed to make the falafel. So I quickly changed my plan, which this was actually a great learning experience. It's kind of like being on Iron Chef or Chopped or something like that, but it was my own doing. So I quickly just chucked those into a pan with some hot coconut oil, the garlic and the chickpeas, that is. And then I found some vegetables in the fridge and I sauteed those after chopping those up. So I've made this in the past, but this just is really one of my standby meals and it works so well and everybody loves it. So I seasoned the chickpeas with garlic powder and ginger powder, as well as some paprika, I believe, and the vegetables I used some oregano on. I don't remember what else, but they were yummy. And also definitely salt. So I decided to, I had some quinoa cooking in the Instant Pot, and I also wanted to make some really yummy yogurt sauce to go with this meal. So I actually made this sauce to go with the red lentil fritters last week. So I loved it so much I wanted to put it in this meal as well. So it's just yogurt, sugar, salt, and some lemon juice. And to serve this meal, I put some hummus and some yogurt sauce on a plate in a pretty swoosh. I added some quinoa and then the veggies and the garbanzo beans, and it's really a beautiful meal. My mom asked me what I would like to bring to the Thanksgiving table this year, and I told her that I would bring a blueberry pie with ginger and lime. This is a recipe that I've made, I think, like once or twice before. I may have even made it for Thanksgiving last year, but that would have been with Cody's family. So this is a really yummy recipe from Bon Appetit, and it also tells you to make your own crust. And this is totally optional. I really think that the ones that you buy at the store in a little box all rolled up are really good. My mom uses those when she needs a rollout crust. So I really recommend using one of those if you're at all scared and just don't feel like having the extra stress of making your own crust. Just buy one of those. They're great. I made this crust at night, and then the next day was pie making day. And when I took it out of the fridge, it was rock solid. So I decided to make the filling while the crust got a little bit softened and warmed up. This was definitely a learning process. I did not do this beautifully or perfectly at all, but miraculously, the end product looked perfect. And I'm amazed because it was really a struggle there in the middle. But yeah, this filling is super good. I just used frozen blueberries, and it's just all the normal pie stuff, sugar and, some lemon juice. And then there's a bunch of lime zest, like a tablespoon, but I would even put in more. And then also a bunch of grated ginger. Once again, I think it was a tablespoon, but I put in even more because I just love those flavors. So it's a really unique take on a really traditional pie, but a super easy way to get that added flavor. I made a lot of this with saffron in the sling, but once it got to rolling out the pastry dough, there was absolutely no way I was going to be able to do that while she was in the sling. So off to Daddy she went. But I was really proud of how this came out. Making pie dough and pastry dough is definitely a project that I would like to work on and get better at, because I think it's just like a really rewarding thing when you can get it right and it's always a learning experience if you get it wrong too. So I will just continue working on that. What I have learned about pastry dough is to keep all of your ingredients cold, because you are always working with a fat that you don't want to melt. And then also you want to make sure that you're not overworking it, because once again, that fat in there, if that becomes incorporated and it turns into just a homogeneous dough, then there's not going to be any flakes. And you really want it to be nice and brown and flaky. So that's kind of what I was at least trying to follow. I was really trying not to let my butter melt, even though it did start to melt as I was working with this. And yeah, that was my rule of thumb, and it paid off. Also, having a bench scraper like this one of my mom's is such a big help. So I really recommend it if you're making really anything. I love bench scrapers, but especially for something like this. We had such a wonderful Thanksgiving this year, celebrating with my side of the family. I really enjoyed tasting all of the traditional dishes that my mom makes, and also the different things that my siblings bring to the table. And it's been, I think 3 years since I've been home for Thanksgiving, so this was a treat for me and just really serendipitous part of this very strange year that we are able to be back here with my family in the fall. This would never happen otherwise, so I feel really blessed to be able to have this experience. Cody has never been to my family's Thanksgiving, so that was also really special to be able to share that with him, and of course share it with Saffron. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have made it this far into the video, please like this video and also comment below what your favorite Thanksgiving dish is. Have a great week.